Probably the biggest downside of teaching Kenpo is there's a lot of techniques per each belt. It's my opinion, it's just one person's opinion, that there's no way you can learn between 15 and 24 self defense techniques in 4 to 6 months with any kind of understanding or application. So it's not really effective for the students. That's just how I feel. The other is because there's so many techniques that must be taught to so many different levels, the students don't get enough time in learning the technique. It's like you really have to gloss over it to get to the next one. So typically, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, the yellow belt, the beginners, they get the most information. I mean, they get all the principles, they get everything. And then when you get to the intermediate levels, your clock is running down, they get a little bit less. And then the advanced get even less. And with them, you're barely done teaching them, and you're like, oh, look at the time. Class is almost over. And then you just stop. So the advanced students get the least of it. And it's not effective. It's not effective for the students. And as an instructor, I'm sure you want to teach this stuff with more depth. So what I do, what I've been doing for a long time, and this works for me and it works for them, is I teach the techniques according to category. And we all learn the same technique. So for example, one of the categories that I do is bear hugs. So we take our bear hugs and we'll pick a technique and everybody will learn it. White belts all the way up. We'll all work on it because if you already know it, you're not done with it. And if you haven't learned it, you need it. So we're all going to work on the same technique. And then we'll go into the formulation. Now to do the formulation, I will typically pick another technique from the same category to shine more light on what we've just learned. Or when appropriate, a technique from a completely different category or a completely different martial art and put them all together just to make the students' understanding of the technique deeper. The students have their whole life to learn all of the techniques. But what they need right now is performance. They need speed, power, accuracy, confidence, balance, and a solid working knowledge of self-defense. So it's just my belief that the goal isn't to learn as many techniques as you can and to repeat them on a test, but rather to really learn and digest and understand and have what they've learned. So I teach techniques by category. The whole class learns the same technique. I pull from other techniques from that same category to amplify what we've just learned. And when appropriate, I'll even bring in stuff from a whole different martial art, grappling, Bondo, whatever it might be. This has been very good, one, for the success of the students. Their performance is way higher. Secondly, they're not burdened by the curriculum. They don't feel any pressure to test for their belts because they know what they're doing. So when the time is right, it's just a matter of polishing up a little bit and then going out there and doing what you got to do to advance to the next level. It's good for me as a teacher because I get to be creative. And one of the issues that instructors have with burnout is when everything is business as usual. You got to go out and you got to teach the yellow belt technique, you got to teach your orange belt technique. And you do that 3-4 classes a day for a few decades, you're going to get kind of tired of what you do because there's no creativity there. What's the point in being a higher level black belt if you can't be creative, if you can't draw on your experience and the things that you know to work for you? So as an instructor, I find it very satisfying. The students really like it because they really learn the material, they understand it, they retain it, and they can actually do it. They're more confident when they test, and they really feel like they're accomplishing something because they are. Everybody wins. And I tell them, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. You have plenty of time to learn all these techniques. Let's make sure you have these ones correct. So that's the basics of how I teach Kenpo. In a way, the class is structured so everyone gets equal time and everybody gets to really understand what they're learning, and it's satisfying for the instructor as well. So if you are interested in more about how to teach this way or just how to structure your classes or any kind of help that you might have, I have the Three Worlds Kenpo Hybrid Kenpo Alliance, and that is a small group of about a dozen Kenpo black belts in schools of all different kinds, hybrid styles, traditional styles, all together for the sake of mentorship, um, supervision, help with training, help with your school, and when appropriate, in person, formal black belt degree testing that you can be proud of. It's not based on politics or money or anything like that. It's not the thing where you just pay some money and you get a certificate. Not at all. It is a distance but not impersonal relationship, and of course we will work together personally. And this is really for, I started mentoring people like this in 2000 when everything got shut down and went virtual, and I really enjoyed it and they really enjoyed it, so I decided to expand it a little bit and see how that works out for people. So if you have any interest in the Three Worlds Kenpo Hybrid Kenpo Alliance, contact me through all the contact info below. All right, thank you.